Welcome back. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at the RAB Cirrus 2024 range, looking at some new additions and also some big changes. Okay, so in today's video we're going to be covering the Cirrus Alpine, the Cirrus Flex, the Cirrus Vest and also the Cirrus Ultra, taking a look at some of the changes to 2024 and also going over one of the biggest additions to the range. So starting off, we're going to talk about the Cirrus and the Cirrus Alpine. The difference between the two is that the Cirrus Alpine has a hood, whereas the Cirrus doesn't. Before we jump into the technical features of this jacket, we're going to talk about some of the features for the wider range that have changed. The first switch is a cosmetic change, so a complete redesign of the jacket. So you'll see that the baffles are much bigger than the older version, allowing that new insulation to loft to its full potential and also making the jacket warmer and more cozy. The second big change is in that insulation, and it's a really good improvement. They've gone to PrimaLoft Silver Rise, which is a really high lofting synthetic insulation, which can also pack down to a really good size. So they're sort of starting to bridge that gap between down and synthetic, offering you an option that has all those benefits of synthetic and just starting to edge its way to the perks of down, so that slightly smaller pack size and slightly lighter weight. Moving on from that insulation, we're seeing a really nice hood with a wired peak. On either side we've got elastic to make sure it fits your head perfectly and doesn't blow off in the wind, and there's a small elasticated panel at the back as well, just to help with the fit around the back of your head. We've got a one-way YKK main zipper with a fleece chin guard there for a bit of added durability and comfort. And if we keep going down a little bit further, we see a internal security zip with a nice pocket in there for all your essentials, things you want to keep close and safe. If we come down to the bottom here, on the inside of the jacket, you'll notice that one side's pocket is slightly pleated. RAB have decided to try and reduce the waste when it comes to making these products. They're not supplying them with a stuff sack anymore, but instead they've developed it so that the pocket can be used as a stuff bag and can still be clipped onto your harness and still keep that pack size nice and small. This is just done with this pocket on this side. We'll show you a demonstration of that as well while I'm talking. Talking about pockets, we've got two hand warmer pockets, both with YKK zippers. And we've got this really nice V elasticated cuff, which is super easy and secure to get over the top of gloves, but also just to put on in a rush if you're getting a bit cold and you just stopped for a little bit. Throw it on, throw it off, really easy. Coming down to the base of the jacket, we're met by a dual adjustment hem just to get a really nice secure fit and stop any of that warm air coming out. And then finally, but by no means least, on the outside of the jacket, we're met by a 30 denier Pertex Quantum fabric. This fabric allows that insulation to loft again to its full potential, making sure you stay really warm and making sure this jacket delivers the most warmth it can possibly deliver. 30 denier is perfectly fine. It's nice and lightweight. It's pretty durable, but it's not compromising on the weight of the jacket overall. Next up we have the Cirrus Flex, which has undergone the same design changes and synthetic insulation changes as the Cirrus we've just looked at. So we're seeing slightly larger baffles and a bit of a redesign on the front of the jacket, and then inside we're seeing that silver rise insulation. On the outside we're seeing that 20 denier Pertex Quantum this time, so a slightly lighter weight material just to keep that overall weight down and that pack size nice and small, but still allowing that insulation to loft to its full potential. What makes the Cirrus Flex so different from the traditional Cirrus or the Cirrus Alpine is the addition of these thermo panels on the sides of the jacket. They run all the way up the sleeve as well, and this gives you two things. The first thing is a bit of additional breathability, so this material is more likely to breathe and allow some of that warm air out if you're working really hard in the mountains, but it also gives you a huge range of movement and unrestricted movement as well. So a really good option for those of you that need a insulated climbing jacket. It's going to give you really good flexibility. It's not going to restrict your range of movement, and it's also going to help regulate your temperature really well. Because using synthetic insulation, it's also great in cold and wet environments. So if you're using this for maybe a bit of winter climbing where there's a chance the jacket's going to eventually get damp, a really nice option. That elastication also runs up into its hood. We're losing the wired peak here, but we see the insulation has come all the way to the end of the cuff. So when put under a helmet, really nice and warm. We see that elastication here just to help with the fit of the helmet overall, but also so that it doesn't reduce your movement, so you can still turn your head and look left and right without any obstruction. We are seeing a one-way YKK main zipper, which goes all the way down to the bottom. And again, if I open this up, we're seeing that pleated pocket on one side, so it can stuff into its own pocket and be stored, clipped to your harness, so you have it when you need it. On the other side, we lose that zip security pocket, but we're met with like elasticated stuff pocket, which is really good for hats and gloves, those kind of things you need quick and easy access to. Making our way down the sleeves, we've got pre-articulated sleeves, still running that nice thermo fabric along the sides to give you that good range of movement. And then we've got elasticated cuffs with a tuck back cuff as well, making sure that insulation runs all the way to the end of the sleeve, just to give you a little bit more insulation and make sure your top of your hands stays nice and warm, especially going over the top of gloves. And then finally coming down to the bottom, we've got a single point hem adjustment. So just one adjuster tucked on the inside of the jacket, which just allows you to draw that hem in and keep you nice and warm. Next up, we have the Cirrus Vest, and there's not a huge amount to say about this in addition to what we've already spoken about with the traditional Cirrus and Cirrus Alpine. It's still got that redesign with the nice big baffles. It's using that new insulation, but it's a vest. So if you're looking for something that just keeps your core warm and you maybe are layering up underneath that, then this is a really good option for you. We've got a nice high collar just to give you a bit of protection around your neck. Obviously, we're losing the hood on this one. Still got that high quality YKK zipper. Internal security pocket on this side, just to keep any essentials nice and safe, close to your body, but also warm. So if you've got your mobile phone, it's a good place to put it. So it's just help with that battery life. Making our way down, we've got our armholes, which are elasticated, just to make them nice and easy to throw on in a rush. And then we've got two hand warmer YKK main pockets, one of which you can stuff the vest into to keep it secure, safe, and packed away for when you need it. Then finally at the bottom, we've got a 2-point adjustable hem just to help draw that hem in. A really good option for any of you that are looking for a vest or gilet type jacket that keeps your core nice and warm, and it gives you the option to layer up underneath as well. And then finally, but by no means least, we have the Cirrus Ultra, a new addition to the Cirrus range. We're not going to go into too much detail on this jacket. We're just going to glaze over it quite quickly because we've actually got a full video that you can click on somewhere around here to go and view and have a look at this jacket in depth. What makes this jacket really, really interesting is the fact they've switched to a Primaloft synthetic insulation called Thermo Plume, which really, really closely resembles that of down. So it mimics the feathers within down to give you a very, very similar set of pros. So you're getting all the pros from synthetic insulation in this jacket. So when it gets wet, it still keeps you nice and warm, but it's giving you some of the benefits of down. So it's a slightly better regulator of temperature, and it can also be packed down very small. This is probably the closest we've got to a synthetic jacket which mimics down. A really, really cool option. And like I said, we'll talk about that in a bit more detail in the other video. So click that one when you're ready. In terms of basic features, and like I said, we'll just glaze over this very quickly. We've got a tilt lining stitched into the inside, so a reflective lining which helps bounce heat back into the body, making this jacket still really warm, but also really packable and really light. Fully helmet compatible hood, elasticated rear adjustment point, and then two tucked away adjustment points in the collar here just to stop them whipping you in the face if it gets windy, and a wide brim on the front. We've got that nice fleece liner on the chin for the chin guard. And then we've got a nice soft inner lining with that pleated pocket so you can stuff it into its pocket if you wish. In terms of the pockets, we've got two chest pockets here, both using YKK zips. These are both external pockets, so the insulation runs underneath the pocket. And then we've got two hand warmer pockets further down, just to help keep your hands warm, and these have got YKK zips on as well. We've got pre-articulated sleeves, and then we've also got those nice cuffs where the insulation comes all the way up to the end. So they've tucked the cuff in on itself, the stitching runs inside, and that insulation comes right up to the end of the sleeve, making sure that you keep your hands nice and warm. The main YKK zip is two-way, so unzip from the top, unzip from the bottom, allowing this to be used as a belay jacket. And then we've got 2 points of adjustment on the hem just to make sure you can get this nice and secure and keep all that warm air in. There's quite a bit more to the Cirrus Ultra, but we're going to cover that in the other video, so click there now if you want to learn more. But an awesome jacket and something that's really, really exciting within the outdoor industry. So that was a really quick look at the Cirrus range, looking at some of the new additions for 2024, but also some of the big changes we've seen within the range. If you're in the market for a synthetic jacket that packs down nice and small but gives you a really good warmth to weight ratio, then the Cirrus range is a really good option. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And just like always, if you could like and subscribe, it really helps us out. Thank you for watching.